So, guys, I want first at the beginning to remind you that tomorrow we have a quiz. You have to revise lectures 4 and 5, and you have to revise worksheet 3. So, you're going to have a comprehension part and a grammar part. In the comprehension part, you're going to have a vocabulary question, and in the grammar part, you're going to have questions related to the simple past tense. Okay, let's revise the vocabulary words quickly together. If you still remember them, okay. The vocabulary words related to the kaha bird, if you remember. The first word, attracted. Attracted is when something attracts your attention. Okay, something that could be very beautiful or something surprising attracts you. And dazzling, something very bright and amazing, very nice. So when you see something dazzling, it attracts your attention at the same time. Fabric is the cloth or what our clothes are made of. This is fabric. Um, uh, greed, greed when you want everything for yourself and you don't like to share it with others. That's a greed. So do not be greedy, okay, guys? Honest, honest is when you do not tell a lie at all. You should always tell the truth. Then you are honest. Requested, when you request something, you ask for it. Okay, you ask for something. Hi, Miss. Hi, Amal. You ask for something. Soar, you fly up over something, okay? Especially for the birds, they soar up above the ocean, for example, above the lake. The last one, trudge, when you are walking or like hiking and moving in a tired way, okay? So trudge, you move slowly because you're tired. So these are the only vocabulary words that you have to revise, guys. Okay, and you have to revise also the simple past tense. If you remember, do we use the simple past tense? Can anyone of you tell me when do we use the simple past tense? Amal, we're revising a little bit for the quiz tomorrow. We revised quickly the vocabulary words. I reminded your friends with the vocabulary words. And I say that you have also the simple past tense. So when do we use the simple past tense, guys? Do you still remember? Nancy?
Yes, when we're talking about the past.
Okay, but what about the past? Because we took two tenses in the past. The simple past tense, pay attention, all of you, when there is an action started and finished at the same time in the past. Okay? Started and finished at the same time in the past, at a specific time. It didn't take a lot of time. It wasn't progressing. It wasn't continuing. Okay, so it started and finished at the same time. For example, he threw the ball on his brother. He threw the ball on his brother. So he threw it. Just he made it, and the action happened and finished at the same time. It didn't take much time to be done. So this is the simple past tense, and you have to pay attention, guys, that when you want to form the verbs in the simple past tense, we have regular and irregular verbs. If you remember, we said regular verbs take ed when you want to form them in the past, and irregular verbs you have to memorize how they are transformed. So that's why I added a list of irregular verbs to the end of the worksheet 3 that you have to memorize. For example, I want to say Nancy, okay, dance. I want to put the verb dance in the past, last night. Okay, so let me give you another example. Okay, Ali, go to the park yesterday. Yesterday. Okay, guys. طيب. Rawad?
Yes.
Okay. We want to put these verbs in the simple past tense. In the simple past
Yes.
tense. Yes. Okay, so what do I say, Nancy? Put the verb dance in the simple past tense. And as I said, that you have to remember two things. When you want to put the verbs in the simple past tense, you have to remember if it's a regular or irregular verb. So dance, what does it become in the past?
Dance.
Dance?
Dances.
No, in the past, not in the simple present tense. We said last night. I wanted in
Oh,
the simple past. So we say,
okay.
Nancy, Nancy,
She dance. She dances. She
dance,
dances.
danced, dance, she danced. Yes, we have to add here ed for the verb. Yes, in the simple past tense, simple past tense. Since dance is a regular verb, so we have to add ed. But dance already ends with e, so I have to cross it out. Then I add ed. This is a regular verb, Yarawal. Thank you. Okay. Marie, Marie.
Yes.
Now let's try to put the second verb in the simple past.
Yes.
Let's try to put the second verb in the simple past tense. Ali, go to the park yesterday. Go, verb go. Is it a regular
Ali.
verb? Is it a regular verb that
Go.
takes ed?
No.
No, so it's irregular verb. It doesn't take ed. It's irregular verb, which is one of the verbs that I'm
Oh,
supposed to memorize them before. So we say Ali. Ali what?
Ali goes.
No, my simple past tense, not simple present.
Goes or went.
No, went, excellent, went in the simple past tense, yeah, Marie. Went, we say, okay? Goes is in the simple present. No, forget about the present. So today we're revising the
Mm.
simple past tense for the quiz tomorrow. Guys, I want you to pay attention to some things. The past progressive with ing is not required for the quiz. No, you have just to revise this one. Okay, guys? The simple past tense, the regular and irregular verbs. Thank you, Yamari. Let me repeat in brief, guys. So, when we say simple past tense, we mean actions that started and finished at the same time in the past. They didn't take an interval of time to finish. Okay, and we have to pay attention to the verbs because we have regular and irregular verbs. The regular verbs take ed, and the irregular verbs, you have to memorize them from the list of irregular verbs at the end of worksheet 3. Okay, guys, but we haven't finished from with the with the simple past tense. Let's see how we form them in the negative. We form them in the affirmative now. We put them in the positive. Now I want to form it in the negative. We said Nancy danced last night. I want to change it to the negative now. Okay, yalla, think of it until I write the second sentence. Ali went to the park yesterday. Okay. I want now to change the first sentence to the negative. And when I say negative, I mean not. What should I use to form it in the negative? Let's see, Hassan Sabra. Hassan Sabra. What do we say, Hassan? What do we use here in order to form the verb in the negative? I want it in the negative of the simple past tense.
Nancy danced last night.
Yeah, it's in the past. Okay, now change it to the negative. Negative. I mean not. Negative. When I say negative, I mean not.
Nancy danced.
Nancy, what?
Nancy didn't.
Did
Nancy didn't dance last night.
excellent. Nancy didn't dance last night. That's right. Nancy didn't dance. You see, he used didn't because I want to form it in the negative, and he even removed the ed from the verb. Didn't dance last night. Bravo يا ماس, bravo يا Hassan. Excellent. Nancy didn't dance last night. Thank you, Hassan. I want now to change the second sentence to the negative. الطاف الطاف.
Yes, ma'am.
Change the second sentence. Ali went to the park yesterday. Change it to the negative.
Ali
Hmm?
didn't want to the
Okay.
park yesterday.
Didn't is correct, but went, it doesn't stay went. When we use didn't, what should we do? What did Hassan
Didn't go to
didn't go? That's
the
right. I was going to ask you what Hassan did in the above sentence. Yes, he put the verb back to its base form. So here I want to take went back to its base form, which is go. So Ali didn't go
go to the yesterday.
park yesterday. Please, guys, you have to pay attention to these points, because if you write didn't, but you keep the verb in the simple past tense, then you will lose grades. Okay. So first of all, we put the verbs in the affirmative form, then we put them in the negative form. Now we still have one form, which is the interrogative. Interrogative, the question. Do you still remember how we formed the questions? Do you still remember how we formed the questions? Let's see. Nancy. لا, Nancy participated, I think. Let me choose. Okay. نور. يلا نور. نور. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Okay, Noor. Noor, let's try to change the first sentence to the
Yes.
interrogative form. Let's change the first sentence to the interrogative form. Interrogative. Question. Let's make it a question. Either if you want to make it yes, no question, you can. If you want to make it with WH word, you can. Nancy danced last night. Let's make it a question. Noor, can you hear us? I cannot hear you at all, ya miss. Okay.
Miss, did you put on the screen?
Yes, it's on the screen. It's not shown in front of you. Okay, type. No problem. Fix your internet, then you can participate. Amal? Amal? Amal, please. Can you unmute yourself? Amal? Nancy? Nancy?
Yes.
Yes, miss. Can you change the first sentence to the interrogative?
Did Nancy dance last night?
Excellent. You can use it this way. You can write it in a yes no as a yes no question. Did Nancy dance last night? Okay. And guys, if you want to put it in the with WH word question, with a question with WH word, how would you write it? Thank you, Nancy. Let's have another student to see. Ali Fawaz. Ali Fawaz. If you want to put it with a WH word, how would the question become?
Yeah.
If I want to, Nancy make yes no question. She said, did Nancy dance last night? Then it's correct. What if I want to write a WH word with it? Like what, where, when, who, why? How does the question become?
Oh, it comes
How do I form it?
where
Where?
did
Yes.
Nancy dance where last night?
No, where at the beginning we put it. No, we put the WH word at the beginning. So it
Last
becomes,
night.
where did Nancy dance last night? Bravo, ya Ali. So we can say, where did Nancy
Oh,
dance last night? Excellent, student. And do not forget that question mark, please. Okay, guys. Where did Nancy dance? Where did Nancy dance last night? Thank you, Ali. Thank you. Amazing. Ali
okay.
Hamoud. Ali Hamoud. No, not Hassan Sabra. Ali Hamoud, not Hassan Sabra. Ali, where are you?
Yes, miss.
Yalla Ali. Let's change the second sentence to the interrogative form.
Ali didn't go to the park yesterday.
This is negative. We did it in the negative.
Ali,
We want it in interrogative form now.
Ali did not go to the park
It's the
yesterday.
same. You didn't change anything. It's still in the negative. We want it as a question in the interrogative. Were you paying attention to your friends while they were changing them, forming them in the interrogative as above sentence?
Did, did
Did,
Ali go to the park yesterday?
bravo, did Ali go to the park yesterday? Thank you. And again, I repeat that if you want to add a WH word, okay, also you can. Example, why did Ali go to the park yesterday? Okay, so you see, guys, here you made two forms of the interrogative, two ways to form the interrogative. So again, I repeat, thank you, Ali Hamoud, amazing Gamaz. So the first form is the interrogative, sorry, it's the affirmative form, the positive form. This is the affirmative form. Okay, positive, we say affirmative. For the simple past tense, you have to memorize the list of irregular verbs, guys. The second one is the negative form. Do not forget that you have to use didn't in the past. This is the negative. And the last two are the interrogative form. We mean the question. Interrogative form. Okay, guys? So everything, I think now everything is clear for the quiz tomorrow. Okay. So now today you do not forget to revise everything, the, the vocabulary words that we have revised together, and grammar, a simple past tense. I repeat, worksheet 3, lectures 4 and 5. Okay, guys? Okay, guys. Now we can move on to continue with our lecture for this week. We finished the grammar part, past progressive. Then we have to move to the writing part now, okay? Writing part, the narrative paragraph. Are you ready? Yeah, just a second. Okay, let's share the screen with you. But before I start explaining it, does any one of you have any idea about what we mean by narrative paragraph? Narrative? Okay, what is narrative paragraph? Okay, do you know, does any one of you know what we mean by narrative paragraph? No one? Doesn't anything come to your mind when we say narrative? Eltaf, do you have an idea?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a narrative?
It's tell a story.
It's a story. Excellent, Eltaf. Bravo. Bravo. Okay, thank you, Eltaf. So, guys, when we say narrative writing or narrative paragraph, we mean that we are going to tell a short story, very short story. Do not think that you're going to tell a very big story or something real. No, a story. Okay, maybe a story that happened with you, maybe a story that happened with someone else. It could be you traveled to a certain place and you're telling us what happened with you. It could be that someone faced a problem and you're telling us how he or she solved this problem. So when we say narrative, we mean that we're telling something especially happened in the past. Happened in the past. So a narrative is a story that is interesting for the reader. It should be interesting also. This type of writing makes the reader feel as if he or she were part of the story. So, for example, let's say now one of you writes a story, Mira writes a story, and I read it. So while reading it, while I'm reading the story, I have to feel that I'm a part of this story. Okay, if it's interesting and correct, then I will feel as if it is real. So as if it was being told directly to him or her. Okay, so this is the narrative. Just when we say narrative, we mean short story. Okay, so since we say a story, so it must include what? The elements of the story. Do you still remember the elements of the story? Talia, let's see Talia if she knows the elements of the story. Since you weren't with us here in semester 1. Talia,
Yes.
do you know some of the elements of a story? Or in other words, what should we find in a story?
Um, I don't really know, but
I'm asking if you have an idea. Try.
no.
No, not at all.
What's
Type. Okay. For example,
what's in the
we said
story?
we said
Should
that
I?
the story we said that the story happened in the past. That's right. And when something happens, it must take a place. For
What?
we said that the story, when we say narrative writing or narrative
Yes.
story, we mean that it happened in the past, and for something to happen, it needs a place to happen in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what must I find in a story? I must find setting, time, and place. This is the first element of a story.
Um.
I must find time and the place, the setting. Did you get it now? Okay, stay with us, Yatalia, and then you will know all of them, I'm sure. So, guys,
Um.
first of all, since it's narrative, then I have to find the elements of the story the same in the narrative writing. First of all, I have to find characters. What are characters? The characters are the people, the animals, or the objects that are affected by the actions of the plot or the events, or that cause the series of events. So, for example, something happens, okay, happens with who? With the characters. So the characters are those who are talking or who the story is talking about them. They could be animals, they could be people, they could be inanimate objects, okay? So they are the central point of the story because the story happens with them, with the characters, those who are acting the story. Okay, characters, they could be real, they could be imaginative, okay? Do not forget that they could be real, they could not be real, okay? But while reading, the reader, while reading the story, must imagine as if they are alive, okay? So the writer here must describe them in a way that makes the reader see that they are alive. Pay attention that you have to describe the characters well in order for the reader to believe them, to believe the story. Other than the characters, I do not have only the characters in the story. No. What do we have? We have setting, which is very important, the time and the place. The setting tells me when the story happened and where it took place. When the story happens, I mean the time. Where it took place, I mean the place. Okay? So, where and when the narrative takes place. When we say setting, we mean where and when the narrative takes place. Why is it important? Because it allows the reader to visualize, to imagine it in front of him, visualize the scenes and the characters in those scenes. Okay, that's why we have to have setting in the story. Sorry. Pay attention for something very important. The setting should be very clear for the author. Okay, it should. Sorry, it should. Yes, it should be very clear for the author in order to be able to create a picture that is very clear for the reader. And the last thing, which is very important, it is the plot. The plot is the events, what happened, starting from the beginning till the end of the story. When we say plot, we mean the who, what, where, when, why, and how outline that gives the narrative directions. Or in other words, we say that what is the story about? When I tell you to retell the story as if you are giving me the plot, giving me the main events, but in the correct order from the beginning till the end of the story. Okay, so this is what we mean by narrative writing and what it should include. Now, if you want to write a narrative paragraph, as we always say, it should include topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. Okay, so what must I write in the topic sentence? The narrative paragraph. Let me attend your friend. Okay. So the narrative paragraph must also start with the topic sentence, then with supporting sentences, then with a concluding sentence at the end. The topic sentence, it should name the topic. For example, you're going on a trip to Zahli, then you have to mention this topic, and you have to share a specific thought or feeling, okay, specific idea about the trip or your feelings, okay. For example, here I have an example. My first seashell hunt had a surprise ending. So the topic here is seashell hunt. So the writer is going to tell us about his seashell hunt, what happened with him, and the special thought he shared with us, the surprise ending. Okay. Then in the supporting sentences, I have to tell the setting, the characters, the events, what happened with us from the beginning till the end. And then when I want to end my paragraph, I will have to end it with a concluding sentence. The concluding sentence, it restates the topic sentence. Tells the same idea as the topic sentence in different words, and it also adds different feelings or expectations. In order to understand it more, guys, let's have this example paragraph. Okay, let me take Jude. Jude,
Yes,
can you read, please?
yes. My seashell surprise.
This is the title. Do
My
not forget,
first,
guys, we have to add a title. Okay, bravo. يلا continue يا Jude.
my first seashell hunt had a surprise ending.
This is the topic sentence.
Early one,
يلا, now I will start with the events. Continue, yeah.
early one morning, my dad and I walked to the beach with a red bucket.
Okay, so you see, guys,
The
in the
sun,
first, just a second, Yajud. In the first sentence, in the first event, I mentioned the time and the place. Early one morning is the time, and walk to the beach. To the beach is the place where the story took place. Okay, so I mentioned the setting, and also we said my dad and I. So I mentioned the characters. So please, guys, we have to mention the setting and the characters at the beginning of the paragraph. Continue, Yajud.
the sand was soft and cool.
Excellent.
We collected orange, white, and brown shells of
Mhm,
all different shapes
mhm,
and sizes. When our bucket was almost filled, I spotted something black and shiny pointing out of the sand.
mhm,
I reached down and grabbed the object right before a wave crashed against my legs.
mhm,
The object felt sharp and curvy.
mhm. So you see,
Finally, I
guys, just a
opened
second.
my hand.
Yeah. Yes, Jude. Just a second. Okay, guys. So you see, I'm telling the events. The writer is telling the events. What happened with him and his dad from the beginning till the end. You see, finally, yes, I opened my hand. Continue, Jude.
What is this? I asked my dad. He said, it's your lucky day.
Mm,
That's a shark tooth
good. So I finished with the events now. I have to write the concluding sentence. Jude, read.
to end. It made me happy to spend time with my dad.
Excellent. So you see, he restated or he added the new feelings at the end in the concluding sentence. It made me happy to spend time with my dad. Guys, if you notice the verbs that I underlined, they are all in the simple past tense. Okay, they are all in the past tense. Was collected with ed, was spotted with ed, crashed, felt is an irregular verb, opened, asked, said. So you see, guys, when writing a narrative paragraph, you have to use the simple past tense or the past tenses together in your paragraph. So you see, it's very easy, not difficult. If you notice in worksheet 4, you have to write a paragraph at the end. Look, recall a time when you had a picnic with your parents. Recall a time. We mean, remember, if you haven't done it before, then imagine that you went on a picnic with your parents. In a short narrative paragraph, narrate how you prepared and spent the picnic. Okay? Don't forget the necessary elements, setting, characters, and important events. That's it, simply. Just imagine or remember a time when you went on a picnic with your parents and tell us how you prepared for it and what you did there. Do not forget the topic sentence, the supporting sentences, and the concluding sentence. Please, guys, I want from you to write it, and you can send it to me on WhatsApp to check on it. Okay? Is it clear? You have till the end of the weekend. It's not necessary to be done today. So, guys, do you have any questions? I was hoping to work on the vocabulary exercises, but we do not still have time. There are only 3 minutes left. If you want to talk, let me. Okay. Who wants to ask a question?